Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. We appreciate your patronage as a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber. If you are neither, please try hard to remember to link your Amazon Prime account, your Twitch Prime account. The instructions are in the show description below, and it's really easy to do. So please make a note. You've got to renew that every month or so. We'd appreciate it if you do it. We get paid and it costs you nothing. So a freebie, one of the few freebies out there. Take advantage of a free offer.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. Right now, Doug DeShazer has beautiful lots available adjacent to Kookanusa Lake in northwest Montana. Pull up your RV and access the hookups, or build your own construction. Either way, you have access to world-class fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, biking, hiking, and the internet. No matter where you're looking to buy, make Doug DeShazer your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643.
Today's question from Patreon from Papa Biscuit. I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan who just tried its mobile spin-off, Ever Crisis. It's boring, way too grindy, and everyone knows how the story ends. Do you think it's a good idea to turn popular console game franchises into mobile gacha games? Many of them shut down within a year. Is the money made worth the potential long-term damage done to the brand with fans? Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think, not sequels, I think direct ports to a different platform where you change the business model is always a bad idea. If you're going to create a mobile game, it should be a brand new experience. Let's be real. I don't think there's ever been an example of a console game that was turned into a mobile game where the same team that built the console game also built the mobile game. I don't think that exists. I can tell you that's not the case with Call of Duty. That is not the case with Diablo Immortal, although I'm sure that the team worked really closely with the console, with a PC team. That won't be the case with Warcraft. It's just not the case. It's not the case with FIFA. They're a different team. And I think that what you're really probably complaining about is execution, poor, and business model, it's a departure from what you're used to. And I get that. I mean, it shouldn't appeal to the same player, but Diablo Immortal's doing okay. And you can argue about whether it's a gacha game or not. I think that gacha being a Japanese word, I think that there's more tendency for Japanese mobile publishers to try to do that. Diablo Immortal has that aspect to it, but they make more money from season pass than they do from actual sales of stuff. And I think that gacha tends to equate to lack of patience. The games that are really the best, that do the best over the long term, Genshin Impact is one, I think. They're very patient. They build their audience. They make the game fun to play. They give the player enough to do, and then the player doesn't resent spending money. And the ones that I spend the most time and money in are season pass type games, where when I'm buying stuff, I don't feel like I'm buying stuff. I feel like I'm buying a challenge, a task to complete. So I don't know how to answer it. I think that self-contained premium games like Final Fantasy VII probably never lend themselves to a mobile experience. And it's sort of like the Batman movie franchise. It's impossible to make a game from a movie because you know how it ends. So they don't. They make Batman Arkham Asylum. And it's a different experience, and it takes longer. It's not a 2-hour game, and you really don't feel cheated. So I think that the game's genre is sufficiently different that you can't really copy exactly what the source material is. And I think that a premium AAA game is like a movie, and a gacha game is like a TV show. You've got to change it enough that it's different. I mean, think about Mission Impossible as a TV show versus a movie. The movie, 2 hours and it's over. I know the most recent one is part 1 and part 2, but 2 hours and it's over. The TV show every episode over, but there's a new one next week and a new one the next week, and it's a different experience. So I think that very few guys get it right going from console AAA to mobile. The ones that tend to get it right are the ones who spend the most money getting it right. Diablo Immortal was in development for 7 years, I think. And it really mattered to them to get that game out and make it right. And they did. And they knew that the Diablo Immortal guy was more likely to buy Diablo 4. So they wanted to sell more Diablo. Call of Duty Mobile was intended to drive premium sales. And it's had the backward effect that premium players love Call of Duty Mobile and Warzone as well. So the goal there is they want you playing Call of Duty all the time on any screen that you happen to be on, which is working. So it's the execution's hard. It really is. And I'd say it's probably because Square Enix just isn't very good at making mobile games. I mean, I'm sure they've had one or two successes, but better to make it from an original concept like Genshin than to make it from an existing concept. Long-term damage done to the brand. I don't think anybody is going to fail to buy the next Final Fantasy should it ever come out. They'll buy Final Fantasy for as long as that franchise gets churned out as a premium game. You know, like I said, it's a different team, so you're going to punish Square Enix. They'll read reviews on the next one, and when it gets 90s, they'll buy it. I mean, if it gets 60s, they won't. So no, I mean, I use Mission Impossible as an example. Mission Impossible 2, I think it was terrible. And Mission Impossible 3 was good. Mission Impossible 1 was great, 2 was bad, 3 was great. Everybody said if 3's bad, the franchise is over. And now we're on 7. So it's very important that the next Final Fantasy be good. Yeah, so I don't think so. I don't. I mean, I think that fans are very forgiving if the content's good. And they're very unforgiving if the content's bad. Was Ever Crisis called Final Fantasy Ever Crisis?
It's
just called Ever Crisis?
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't play it.
They adapted the gameplay thinking that it would be better for mobile if they changed it while using the same story from Final Fantasy VII. So you know what's going to happen ultimately, but how you get there is different.
I just hate the franchise, so I never look at it at all.
Final Fantasy 16 is really good. It's one of my favorite games of the year.
Thanks for joining us as a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber. It's keeping us afloat and keeping Shane able to come back out here. I get none of it. You are just providing for the production cost to make sure we can keep doing this. If you are a subscriber or you are not, please remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. There's instructions in the show description below, and you've got to renew that every month or so. So please, if you haven't done it in a while, click through the show description and link it, and we'll get paid. It costs you nothing. It's free for you. Amazon pays up. Let's stick it to the man. Thank you.